Hello students, welcome back. In the last session we have discussed about event classes in Java. In that we have discussed two important event classes, action event class and adjustment event class. In today's session we will discuss about event handling steps. The various steps needs to be followed to handle events in Java that we will discuss today. So let's start. So these are few steps which can be followed to handle events. The first step in this, it is create your GUI. You need to create your graphical user interface first. Say you want to create an interface with a button. So you have to design your interface, you have to create it with a button. Once you create your GUI, next step, it is to identify events to be handled. GUI components may generate many different types of event. If you take an example of a component button, a button may generate different events. A button may generate action event when you click on it. When you take your mouse cursor on the button, it may generate the mouse event, or when you move a mouse on it, a mouse motion event is generated. So many events are generated by the components in the GUI. But not all events needs to be handled in every program. In our program we may want to handle a few events generated by the components. So we need to identify which events we want to handle in the GUI first. Once the events are identified, the next step is to create the listener classes. Listener classes are classes which are used to notify when the event is occurred, and these are the classes which includes the code which is executed in response to the event. So event classes, event listener classes handles the events. So we have to create event listener class to handle particular events. Event listener class implements the listener interfaces. It inherits listener interfaces, a particular listener interface which we want to handle. Say the event which we want to handle is action event on a button. So while creating a listener class, our listener class should inherit action listener interface. It has to inherit action listener interface because we want to handle action event. If we want to handle a mouse event, the listener class should inherit the mouse listener, and so on. When the listener class inherits a particular listener, it should also implement the methods of a listener interface. So the action listener interface contains one method called as action perform. So as the other listener interfaces include other methods which needs to be implemented. Okay, so third step, it is create the listener class and implement listener methods. And lastly, register the event listener with the source. And we have to register the listeners with the source. The source is again the component which generates the event. So the source has to be registered with the listener, otherwise a notification is not sent to the listener when the event occurs. For example, message from a bank, it is sent to the customer when you withdraw an amount or the amount is credited to the account. Messages are sent to the customers. But these messages are sent only when you register for SMS banking, right? So registration is required there. Same way here, whenever an event occurs, a notification is sent to the listener class to handle the event. But this notification is sent only when the listener is registered with the source. If a listener is not registered with the source, a notification is not sent to the listener class. So the registration is important here. Okay, these are few steps which can be followed to handle events. There can be some other steps also, but these are some easy steps which we can follow to handle events. Now let us go through these steps with an example program. Okay, so let us consider this GUI. Let us say I want to create a GUI like this, a program like this, and in this GUI we have a button. You can see a button here, and this is a label. In the label we have displayed text. The text says text to be displayed when the button is clicked. Now what exactly we want to do is, upon clicking on this button, we want to display here a message, hello Java. Hello Java message is to be displayed. So this GUI we want to, this program we want to create, event handling program it is. Upon clicking of a button, something has to happen. So by using these steps which we have studied, let us see how we can create such a program. Now the first step, as we have seen, first step it is to create our GUI. So we will first create a GUI like this, which you can see here on the screen. Okay, to create this GUI we have to write an applet program. So to write an applet program, as we know, we have studied about applet program even in the last semester. To write an applet program you can use any editor. So I'll use here Notepad++. So I'll open Notepad++ to create my GUI. And how you can create an applet program you already know. To create an applet program we need to import certain packages first. So first we need to import a package that is java.applet package. So import java.applet.star. Okay. Secondly, we may have to import one more package, that is java.awt.star. Now, as we know about AWT package, abstract windowing toolkit package, this contains the classes which can be used to create a GUI program in Java. Then we have to declare our class, public class, say my applet. Applet program should always extend to a class called as applet, and we know about this. Public class my applet extends applet. So this is my applet. In the applet lifecycle we have seen there are different methods which are there, like init method, which is the first method. Then we have paint method, we have other methods. Init is one of the important method which we are going to use here. To create a GUI we have to always use an init method, because that is the first method which is executed. Okay, so we will declare here init method, public void init. From inside this init method we will be creating our GUI. Now what our GUI contains, as we have seen on the slide, our GUI, our program should have a button and a label. So how to create a button? We can create a button in AWT by using a class button. Button b1 is equals to new button. In bracket we can send the text which you want to display on the button. Say I want to display text, click me. Okay, this is the text I want to display on the button. So button is created. Same way we need a label as well. So I'll create a label, label, label L1 is equals to new label. So it is label, it is not lable, remember. And the text which you want to display on the label, again the same message I'll print. The text to be displayed when you text to be displayed when you click on the button. Okay, then okay, we have created button and a label. Next we can add these two on our applet screen. To add button and label, we have to use a method add b1, add l1. So we have added both the buttons and the label. Okay, so this is our GUI. We have created a GUI here, a program. So let me execute and check if this displays our GUI. Okay, to execute this, I need to first save it. I'll save it. To save an applet program, we have to always save an applet with a class name. Here class name is my applet with an extension .java. Okay, so program is saved. Then we need to compile this. To compile this, we can use cmd. So I'll open cmd command prompt, and we need to move to the directory where we have saved our program. If you look at, we have saved the program in this directory. You can see here in the folder called as programs, we have saved it. Okay, so we need to move to that directory. I'll just move to that directory. I'm moving one by one directories, or you can copy and paste the complete path if you want. Right now I am in advanced Java, and from advanced Java I'm moving to programs. So I am in programs. So here is my applet program stored in the programs directory. So I can compile it by using javac my applet.java. Okay, the program is compiled, you can see. Now to execute the program, how we can execute the program? Applet programs do not have a main method, so we cannot execute an applet program directly by using java space file name. To execute an applet program, we have to always use an HTML file. So we have to embed our applet program inside HTML. So as I've said, a convenient way to add HTML is instead of creating a separate file, we can add HTML code here in the same file in the comment section. If you want, you can create a separate HTML file like we did earlier, or what you can do is in the same Java file you can declare multi-line comment like this, and inside this multi-line comment you can have your HTML code. So HTML, then body, and applet is always embedded inside the HTML by using applet tag. So applet tag, the attribute code is equals to the name of my applet program. What is the name of my applet program? It is my applet. Okay, then this applet tag also has two attributes, that is height of your applet screen, say 500. I'll take this as 200 instead of 500, and width of applet screen, so width I'll say 500. Okay, so this is my applet tag which is used to embed my applet, and then I need to close the tag, applet close, then other tags needs to be closed, body is closed, and same way we have to close HTML. Okay, HTML is closed. So this is our HTML code. We have written this code inside the Java file itself, but if you want, you can create a separate file for HTML and you can embed your Java program there. Okay, so this is ready. So again I'll go back to CMD. I'll clear the screen first. I'll compile my program again. It is compiled. I will execute it now by using applet viewer. Applet viewer space my applet. Why my applet? Because HTML code is declared in my applet itself. If you have a separate file where your HTML code is declared, you please specify that file name there with an extension .html. Okay, so applet viewer my applet.java. Now you can see it is displaying our GUI, the graphic interface, and this GUI contains a button and a text field. Okay, so this is our GUI. There is a button and text field. So the first step is done. Create your GUI. We have created the GUI. See, I am clicking on the button but nothing is happening because event handling part is not declared yet. We have just created the GUI. Now we need to follow the second step. What the second step says? Second step says that identify events to be handled. Now if you look, this is our GUI. What event do you want to handle? I said whenever I click on the button, some text has to be displayed on the label. But when you click on the button, which event is generated? Button generates which event? Whenever you click on the button, the event which is generated, it is action event. We have studied about different event classes in the last session, right? Event classes are mouse event, action event, key event, window event, adjustment event, and so many event classes, right? But when you click on the button, the event which is generated is action event. We have seen in the description of action event. Action event is generated when a button is clicked, list of item is double clicked, or an item from a menu is selected. In those cases, action event is generated. So here I want to click on the button. So which event is generated? Action event is generated. So we have identified the event which we want to handle. We want to handle action event. Now once we have identified the event to be handled, next step is create the event listener class and implement listener methods. So we have to create the event listener class. So let us go back to our program. We have to create a listener class which listens to the action event. So how that class can be created? We can declare a separate class here. We have a class myApplet. Inside myApplet you can declare one more class. This is called as inner class. Class within a class is called as inner class, remember. So declare one more class. This is a listener class. So I'll say my listener. Name can be any name here. My listener. The listener class needs to always inherit an interface, an event interface. Now we have identified the event is action event we want to handle. So your listener class should inherit action listener interface. Remember, if you want to handle action event, the listener class should inherit action listener. If you want to handle mouse event, the listener class should inherit mouse listener. Okay, so here action event, so our listener class will inherit action listener. For that we have to use implements action listener. Now why keyword implements? I said inheriting action listener. Why we have use implements? Why we haven't used extends keyword? As we have studied earlier semester in the basics of Java, the keyword implements is used to inherit interfaces, and as I've said, action listener, it is not a class, it is an interface, and that is the reason we are using keyword implements, not extends. Okay, so our class listener class is ready. We have created a listener class, and this listener class handles action events. Okay, and that is the reason we have used action listener here. Now the third step also says that we need to implement the methods of the listener class. So action listener class contains one method. The method is action performed method. Remember, this is very, very important, and in the next session we will discuss about different listener interfaces as well. So action listener interface contains a method. The method is action performed. That method we need to redefine here. We have to define that method again in our listener class, and this is compulsory. In the last semester also we have studied that whenever a class inherits an interface, all the methods of that interface needs to be redefined by the class, and that is the reason our listener class should re-implement all the methods or implement all the methods which are defined in action listener. So action listener, as I have said, defines only one method. The method is public void, okay, so public void action performed. This method is declared in the interface action listener, remember, and this method takes one object as an argument, that is action event object as an argument, and this is the method which is called when an action event is generated. If I click on the button, action event is generated, and automatically this method action performed is called. Okay, and this action event object is sent to this method when it is called, and this object E contains all the necessary information to identify the source which has generated this action event. Okay, so this is done. The next step, it was create listener class and implement listener method. So we have created our class and even implement the method action performed. Now lastly, register the event listener with the source. So we have to register the event listener with the source. We have created the listener class. This we have to register with the source. What is the source? The source is one which generates the event. So in our case, B1, the button B1 is the source. So button B1 generates the event. When I click on the button, action event is generated. So with B1 I have to register this my listener. Okay, so how I can register that? To register, we have a method, that is we have to use B1, that is button name, dot add. The method is add. Which event you want to register? Action event, right? So it is add action listener. I want to register action listener. So add action listener. In bracket we have to send a listener object which is going to handle the event. Now as I have said, we have created a class here, my action listener. So this is our listener object, and this is going to handle the event here. So we have to send here an object of this class, my listener. Now to send an object, what you can do, you can create an object first of my listener. How you can create? You can simply say my listener, I'll say M is equals to new my listener. See, object of my listener is created, and while registering, send that object. M is sent here. So that is done. There is one more way to do the same thing. Instead of separately creating an object here, the simplest way is, what you can do is, you can simply say new my listener. So what we have done here, we have created anonymous object here. Means this step creates an object of my listener class with any name, because name is not specified here. In the earlier case I had specified name M, right? But here only new my listener, means with any name it will create an object, and that is sent as an argument to add action listener. Okay, so registration is done. This is the registration step, which is important, and without registration notification about the event is not sent to the listener class. Okay, when you registered B1 with the action listener, only then when an action event occurred on the button, an intimation is sent to my listener where this action performed is called. Okay, so this is done. This is the last step. Add action means register a event listener. Okay, now how it executes. Consider on your GUI. So this is my GUI. Okay, when I click on this button, when I click, what happens? When you click on the button, automatically your JVM creates an object of a particular event. So event here, it is action event. JVM creates. In the program we are not creating any event there, remember. Your JVM creates an object of action event when you click on the button. Then that object, action event object, is sent to the registered listener. Where we have registered a listener, you can see here. We have registered a listener here, and which listener you have registered? My listener, means this class is registered as a listener. So the object which is created there, it is sent to this class, where in this class the method action performed is called. Action perform method, it is to handle the action events. So the object which is created by the JVM, when I click on the button, that object is sent here. Can you see action event here? That object is sent to the method action perform, and action perform, the object is available with the name E here. Now inside this method action perform, you have to include any code you want to execute upon clicking of a button. Now what code do you want to execute when I click on the button? As I've said, when I click on the button, I want to display a message, hello Java. So that code, hello Java message ka code, we have to write it here. So how to display a message on the label? Simply say L1, that is our label name, dot set text, and what message you want to display? Hello Java. Okay, that's it, and semicolon. Save it. Program is saved. Everything is done now. Program is ready to be executed. So let us compile the program again and execute. Okay, so let me compile this. I'm trying to compile it. Okay, this is giving some errors again. The errors are cannot find symbol. You can see a mark over here. It is showing for action listener. In the symbol section also it is said class action listener. It is not able to find class action listener. Okay, even it is not able to find action event. So what might be the problem? Where is the class action listener located? Action listener class is located in a package called as events package. So we have to import that. Import java.awt.event. So all the event related classes are located in package called as awt.event package. So even that needs to be imported. Okay, that is done. Let us compile it again. Okay, there is still one more error, cannot find symbol again. Here it is showing a mark and it is showing a symbol as L1. It is not able to find L1. The line number is 37. The line number says L1.setText. In L1.setText, it is not able to find L1. The location is this. We are using L1 in action perform. Do we have L1 in action perform? No. Where L1 is declared? L1 is declared here in init. So I have declared L1 in init. So L1 is accessible only inside the init. L1 cannot be accessed outside the init. But we want to access L1 even from action perform. So what we can do is, instead of declaring L1 here, we remove declaration of L1 from here, and L1 we will declare in the class. So I'll say label space L1. Now as we have declared L1 in the class, so whatever you declare in the class, it is accessible to the complete class. So L1 is accessible to all the methods which are there in the class. It is accessible to init. It is accessible even to a class myListener, because myListener, it is an inner class of myApplet. So it is accessible to myListener as well, and it is accessible to action performed. Okay, so this is done. Okay, let us compile it again. Just wait. Okay, compilation is done successfully this time. Execute the applet by using applet viewer. Okay, it is displayed. Now let me click on the button. Let us see now if the event is handled or not. Last time only when we created the GUI, if I clicked on the button, nothing was happening. But now we have handled an event on the button. So when I click on the button, now you can see it is displaying hello Java. So event handling is done successfully. So this is how we can handle events in Java. So event interfaces plays a very important role in handling events. So we have to have the listener classes defined. So in the next session we will study about the listener interfaces. Here the listener interface which we have used, it is action listener for action event. For every event we have a particular listener interface. So for action event, action listener; for mouse event, mouse listener; and for every type of event we have a different type of listener, and every listener contains certain methods in it. So about those we will study in the next session. Now we will stop here. Thank you.